Josie, you better eat that bitch.
Beat her ass, Josie. Get up, Josie, get up.
Josie.
Get up,
Get up, Josie.
Get up,
Don't let
Josie.
on top.
Get up, Josie.
Josie, get your ass up.
Stop,
Get
Josie.
your ass up.
All right, bitch.
Beat that bitch.
Get up, Josie.
Beat that bitch,
Get up,
Josie.
get down.
Beat
Beat
that
her
bitch.
ass, girl.
Josie.
Beat her ass, Josie. Beat her ass.
The girl, visibly angry, yelled at the man inside the car, her voice sharp and full of frustration as he sat silently behind the wheel.
Not crazy. Get out of your car now.
You don't
Yeah,
want me to
eating your McDonald's.
you don't
Get
want
out
me
of
to
your
go
car.
outside. Get your order straight.
Come on. Come on now. I'm so ready to fight club this. Let's go. Come on.
No.
Come on.
me-
Oh, you're a. Get a degree. Go to school.
I am what I
Go
eat.
to school.
I am what I eat. You see my.
Clearly, you about to hit my car and I got kids in the back.
The woman argued loudly with everyone on the street, causing a chaotic scene.
Oh, my motherfucking mama. You will learn today. You cracker. I'm gonna pull you with. What's up? Put this dick down. Put this dick down. Put this dick down.
Two women were loudly arguing on the street, drawing attention from passersby and escalating the tension. Two men got into a heated argument at the bar, exchanging loud insults before the situation escalated into a physical altercation, causing chaos and alarming other customers nearby.
Ahí, dale, traga leche.
Two men were arguing loudly on the street, which quickly turned into a physical fight, drawing attention from passersby.
Brócolo, ¡pam! Traga leche.
A man and a woman were engaged in a loud argument, their voices escalating as bystanders watched the tense exchange.
I got it.
Thank you.
Can you please take this?
You're the one that's doing the most. Yeah, it's close.
But I came here at 4:59.
Don't worry, that's just close.
A group of people got into a heated argument on the street, their voices rising before the situation escalated into a physical altercation, causing chaos and attracting attention from passersby.
Look out! Nocauteou aqui.
Risada, filha da puta! Respeita, caralho, vai se foi homem, sua arrombado!
Two women on the plane argued loudly, their voices rising above the hum of the engines, causing other passengers to look on anxiously.
Afterwards.
Well, we're not going to have this chaos in the air.
Oh, it's not chaos.
It is.
Well, I'm hearing impaired, so I'm sorry if I sound chaotic.
Okay. Your son and your dad are together.
Somebody's using God's name in the name of the Lord. I'll be quiet and I'll just sit here. I'll just sit here and be quiet. Can you please help me?
I can as soon as
you can.
No, I
Yes,
will.
sir. Can you please help me? So we can go.
It's not his responsibility. I'm here to help, but I'm not going to sit here and be berated.
I am not trying to berate you.
Here you go.
Thank you that hit my foot.
Two women were loudly arguing on the street, their heated voices drawing attention from people nearby. The confrontation grew intense, with neither backing down, creating a tense atmosphere around them.
Illegally, and what you are doing is illegal. What are you even talking about?
You're not welcome in this community. You are not welcome in this community.
What are you?
You're doing suspicious business in this property. You're doing multiple businesses. Get out of here.
What are you talking about?
You're not talking about here.
A married couple got into a loud argument with the staff at the restaurant, upset over poor service. Their voices echoed through the dining area as they demanded better treatment, while the staff tried to calm them down, creating a tense situation.
Just get it out. Oh my god.
Hopefully you guys brought your baby.
Sorry, but I would like you to leave it.
Two women got into a loud argument and started fighting inside the restaurant.
Cry your ass a river.
Crack is whack, boo-boo. For real, stop that.
A group of women on the train began arguing loudly, causing a scene. Their heated exchange drew the attention of other passengers, leading to further commotion as they continued to shout and argue with each other.
Terrible. Hot extra steps swinging mother. No, don't do it. I like people on the beach. They gonna do nothing right. Somebody grandmother acting like that. Mother. Somebody grandmother your ass now, mother. Grandmother in your ass stop. Somebody grandma. No, I can't show that. So get education. What's up? I'm not a grandma. I'm not a bitch. You need to go with your fly. We fly, mother. We fly, you bastard cat. You're really from Philly. Show me what's up.
Oh, shit. Oh my God. Yo.
A group of women on the plane started arguing loudly over seating arrangements. Their voices echoed through the cabin, drawing the attention of nearby passengers. Flight attendants rushed over to defuse the situation, but the argument continued unabated.
It's whatever. It's too tight in here. One thing that I'm gonna rock.
Respect that lady. She a real one. Lady, the real one.
You're not even from Philly.
Ooh.
Hey, don't you touch me. Don't you touch me. Public servant,
What?
you don't touch me.
Or else what?
I will file a complaint. You're being live streamed? Nope.
We've had all those threats on our life, and then all of a sudden, we get someone here on the property with a firearm. We don't know, and we come out and we come to talk to you respectfully and ask you who you are. Why are you walking around the property with a firearm? Because honestly,
Hey everyone! Today we're looking at a case where Karen gets knocked out some after power hit what led to this, and what are the next steps. Stay tuned as we break down the events. If you're passionate about justice, hit that subscribe button and join our community for more insightful content. Let's get it on. In August 2023, during an inspection of the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana, an auditor was documenting the premises when a patrol vehicle swiftly approached. Moments later, Sergeant Barents of the Fort Wayne Police Department confronted the auditor, asking for his name and well-being.
I'm doing well. Who are you? Who are you?
I'm Sergeant Barry Ansis, Fort Wayne Police Department. How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
I didn't give it.
Despite the auditor's right to record in public, protected by the First Amendment, Sergeant Barents detained him, demanding identification under the guise of Secret Service requirements. This detention raised legal questions as it lacked reasonable suspicion of criminal activity, a requisite under U.S. law. The auditor's body-worn camera captured the entire exchange.
Well,
that's not the policy.
The Secret Service.
I don't care. Okay, go ahead. Am I being detained?
What's your name?
Am I being detained?
What is your name?
Am I being detained? Hey, don't you touch me. Don't you touch me. Public servant,
what?
You don't touch me.
Or else what?
I will file a complaint. You're being live streamed? Nope.
Stop.
No. Am I being detained?
Yes, you are being detained.
Am I being detained?
Identify who you are.
Recording in public is not illegal, and detaining someone without probable cause may violate their rights. When asked about the assault allegation, Sergeant Barents did not provide a satisfactory answer, highlighting the need for transparency in law enforcement. Sergeant Barents was seen preventing the auditor from leaving by pushing him several times. Although the legality of the detention was questioned, Sergeant Barents' conduct might constitute assault. However, in Indiana, it is termed intimidation under Indiana Code 354521, which includes threats to coerce someone or induce fear of reprisal for a lawful act.
I'm not.
Sir,
no.
The Secret Service has
I don't care.
To identify
I don't care what they want. Show me the law.
Okay, I understand.
What law have I broken?
Okay. We have
what
to have a
law have I broken?
The arrival of the president. What's your name?
What is your badge number?
1647.
I'm going to file a complaint with Officer Reed. You don't touch me.
Okay. Why won't you give your name?
I have no business to give you my name.
What's your name?
What ordinance have I broken?
What is your name, sir?
Have I committed a misdemeanor? What is your RAS? Your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime. Am I being detained?
Yes, you are being detained.
Under what probable cause? Then I'm leaving.
No, you're not.
What am I being detained for? What am I being detained for?
The Secret Service has cleared you.
What am I being detained for? What is your name, sir?
My name is Detective Tagmeyer.
Tell the chief to come here.
600, 620.
Tell the chief to come here. You haven't told me what crime I've committed. I don't want.
No, they're talking in my ear. You're not going anywhere.
Don't touch me. Why am I being detained? You haven't given me probable cause for me to be detained.
Qualified immunity might shield Sergeant Barents from personal liability for actions taken while performing his duties, provided the actions did not violate established constitutional rights. This legal concept would apply if the detention had been lawful. Detective Tetmir asserted the necessity of a Terry frisk, which allows officers to stop and pat down individuals if there is reasonable suspicion of criminal activity and a belief that the person may be armed and dangerous. However, in this instance, there was no apparent reason for the auditor's detention, raising doubts about the validity of using Terry frisk.
What is it?
Reasonable.
What crime have I committed? Of what crime? You can't hold me for you're not sure.
It's called a Terry stop.
No, then Terry frisk me. Don't reach in my pockets.
Unless I feel something that could be contraband or a weapon, then I can.
No, you can't. How dumb do you think the public is? It's suspicious activity. Is that a misdemeanor or felony, sir?
Suspicious activity.
Misdemeanor or felony. That's right. It's neither, so I haven't committed a crime.
Sergeant Barents displayed questionable intentions from the outset, persistently harassing the auditor and engaging in deliberate provocations. Had the roles been reversed, the auditor could have faced legal repercussions. Despite Sergeant Barents' false accusations, the footage clearly refuted any claims of physical contact.
You don't detain citizens and you don't touch them.
I couldn't hear you.
Don't get any closer to me.
Or else what?
You're invading my personal space.
Or else what?
What do you think is going to happen?
You tell me.
Did you take an oath? Sir, I'm talking to you. Did you take an oath? Did you take an oath? I'm talking to you, public servant. This is a First Amendment protected activity. So why don't you get back in your car and get back to your job? Don't do that to me. You keep leaning in like you can't hear. Who's this jackboot? Who are you, sir?
That's rude.
I have a right to say.
I don't care. What's your name, sir? So when I file a complaint, he was witness to you battering me.
Battering?
Yes, you touched me.
If I touched you that way, even with a finger, even if it just touched your clothes, I'm going to jail.
You already did that.
I did not.
Going to jail? You touched me?
No. It's all on camera. I did not.
The First Amendment safeguards the freedom of speech in the United States, even when it involves cursing at law enforcement officers. Courts have consistently upheld that verbal obscenities alone do not warrant arrest or punishment. The 1971 Supreme Court case Cohen v. California emphasized that offensive language does not necessarily constitute fighting words that immediately provoke violence.
Do you want me to get video all night?
Oh, heavens no.
Then let me go per your instruction. Am I being detained or am I free to go? You can't do that. You have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion.
We're doing that.
Why don't you just get the chief out here? He'll clear it up. I'll identify to the chief. What's your name, sir?
My name is Officer Adam Hartman, 1896 Fort Wayne Police Department.
Okay. Can you do something about that?
Well, he's a sergeant.
Can you arrest this man for illegally touching me?
No, I haven't witnessed any crime.
I'll show you. I didn't do anything wrong.
Advised.
No.
Listen, there's no need to swear.
You said you can't hear. I'm obliging you. Can you hear now? Am I being detained or am I free to go?
Are you going to allow me to speak?
Am I being detained? Once you answer my question. Am I being detained or am I free to go?
You're being detained.
Under what?
If you
am I being detained or am I free to go? Am I being detained or am I free to go?
Do you understand?
Am I being detained or am I free to go? Am I being detained or am I free to go, sir?
Your refusal to leave will
am I being
result in you
detained
being
or am I
for-
free to go?
You
Am
can
I
go
being
on the other side of the
detained
street, but you
or
cannot
am I
be on the
free to
sidewalk.
go? You have to release me. You have to release me from detainment. You have to release me from detainment. It's not up for me.
Have a good day.
No, you have a terrible day because I'm going to file a complaint with your department. Or are you going to escort me across?
I'll escort you across.
Oh, let's go down here.
The auditor was detained without committing a crime, despite being on public property. The Allen County War Memorial Coliseum is government-controlled, owned, and operated by Allen County, Indiana. This detention violated several fundamental rights of the auditor, including protection against arbitrary searches and seizures under the Fourth Amendment. On December 4, 2020, YouTuber and First Amendment auditor Brent McCain was filming at the Houston County Justice Center in Crockett, Texas. Mr. McCain was openly carrying a pistol on his hip while standing on the outskirts of the parking lot. Shortly after he began recording, Deputy Cody English and Deputy Rocky Hoke from the Houston County Sheriff's Office confronted and detained him. Sergeant Lorenzo Simpson soon arrived and took over the situation.
But also, when you're on our property,
it's
and
public
you don't
property.
have a legitimate complaint, then that kind of puts it suspicious. And
May
so
I ask you this? Am I doing anything illegal?
Activity.
Is suspicious activity?
Actually, it's not an actual offense. It's a complaint and it's an investigation. That's why we say we investigate. And so that's why we ask you for what your name is. And we're not telling you that you can't film. You're right. You got every right in the world to go out and film whatever. As long as you're not violating nobody's rights, you're not creating a disturbance, causing problems and stuff. Hey, that's one thing. But and our concern and our safety coming in at is because, like I just explained to you, we've had so many complaints and we've had so many threats on our lives. We've had all those threats on our life, and then all of a sudden we get someone here on the property with a firearm. We don't know, and we come out and we come to talk to you respectfully ask you who you are. Why are you walking around the property with a firearm? Because honestly, most people that do that, they're either police or they're special investigators, or they actually have a license to carry. Now, if you'll notice, on the guards over there, it's illegal to carry a firearm on this property, license or not.
On the property?
Yes, sir. Unless you actually are a peace officer.
Yeah, in the parking lot, it's illegal.
It is illegal.
I don't think so.
Well, you don't have to think so. I'm telling you so. It's posted.
It's posted on the building. It's inside the building.
Well, either way,
it's not on the parking lot.
As I explained to you.
Mr. McCain questioned whether suspicion constitutes a felony or a misdemeanor. However, as frequently discussed on episodes of ATA, officers do not require suspicion of a specific crime to initiate a detainment. This principle is rooted in the landmark Supreme Court case Terry v. Ohio 1968. The Terry v. Ohio decision established that police officers can stop and frisk individuals based on reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. This is a lower threshold than probable cause which is needed for an arrest. The Terry case involved an Ohio downtown police officer who saw 3 strangely behaving males on a street corner. The officer later stated that he believed the males were scouting the establishment for a possible robbery after witnessing them alternately peering through windows. After stopping the 3 males and identifying himself as a law enforcement officer, the officer patted down each suspect on the outside. The officer felt a bulge in one of the men's pockets during the pat down, and sure enough, it was a gun. After seizing the firearm, the officer frisked the other 2 individuals and discovered another revolver. The 2 individuals found in possession of the firearms faced charges of carrying concealed weapons, which they ultimately lost. The arrestees claimed that their Fourth Amendment rights had been violated since they had been searched without a warrant, and they took their case all the way to the Supreme Court.
You know, it's suspicious activity and we have a right to conduct an investigation and ask you at this time and point who you are, because like I said, we didn't say you threatened our lives.
All right.
Everybody that called us, you think they told us who they are? We don't know who they are, so we don't know if it was you. We don't know if it was somebody else. We have no idea, so that's why at this point we have a right to investigate and find out who you are.
You tried the
failure to cooperate with us.
That's not illegal either, is it?
It creates a bigger problem than we have to have. That makes sense? I mean, like I said, we come to you respectfully, and we come out here raising a cane at you.
I understand that.
Pointing firearms at you.
I understand that.
We come out here threatening you. Who you are, why are you actually walking around the property with a firearm? Because like I said, we done had hundreds of calls threatening our lives. We don't know Adam from Eve who's calling, and like I said, we don't know if it's you or not, and so that's why we want to find out who you are, make sure that you have an actual right to. So that's
where's your sheriff?
Our sheriff he's in a meeting. He's tied up in a meeting.
Well, if this is raised enough of your concern to detain me, wouldn't you think that I'd like to speak with the sheriff, please, sir?
Well, I'm a shift supervisor.
But you're not the sheriff.
So, no, I'm not the sheriff, but
right.
Through his authority, I have the same power. In his powers, I have the authority, and to come out here and talk to you just as they do. And I know you see TV. I mean, people do this stuff all the time for YouTube purposes. People do it for their own benefit or their own whatever.
After turning down the suspect's attempt to have the gun suppressed as evidence, the Supreme Court went on to create the modern standard for reasonable suspicion. The court agreed that officers shouldn't be limited to only opening investigations when they have sufficient evidence to make an arrest. It also pointed out that even though none of the suspect's actions were explicitly unlawful, the encounter itself merited an investigation when all the details were considered. The court found that in justifying the particular intrusion, the police officer must be able to point to specific and articulable facts which, taken together with rational inferences from those facts, reasonably warrant that intrusion. In light of the Terry ruling, it's important to understand the legal framework surrounding police stops and searches. According to this landmark Supreme Court decision, if an officer observes behavior that reasonably suggests criminal activity might be occurring, they are permitted to detain the individual briefly to investigate further. This means that law enforcement officers do not need concrete evidence of a specific crime. reasonable suspicion based on observable behavior is sufficient. The purpose of this section is to draw attention to the fact that authorities have the authority to detain citizens solely based on the suspicion that they are acting suspiciously, even if such behavior is perfectly lawful. We will address the legality of Mr. McCain's detention in a moment. Sergeant Lorenzo informed Mr. McCain that possessing a firearm on the premises is against the law. Mr. McCain respectfully expressed his disagreement. It's important to note that Texas laws govern the carrying of firearms, with specific regulations on open carry dependent on various factors, including how the firearm is carried and where it is displayed. In Texas, carrying a handgun in public without the proper conditions can lead to serious legal trouble. According to subsection 2 of Texas Penal Code 46.02, it is an offense for an individual to carry a handgun intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly unless they are on their own premises, on premises under their control, or inside or en route to a motor vehicle or watercraft they own or control. This law aims to regulate when and where weapons can be carried, including certain exceptions for handguns in vehicles and watercraft under specific circumstances. Notably, subsection B1 of this code provides an important exception for citizens who are licensed to carry handguns. This means that individuals like Mr. McCain, who has obtained the necessary license, are legally allowed to carry their handguns under these regulated conditions.
I don't understand why, because it has been my honest opinion. Why create a problem when there isn't a problem?
Well, how did I create a problem? I walked through here. I was about to walk out the other way when these gentlemen approached me.
We don't know if you, are you a serial killer? Are you a rapist? Or are you a convicted felon?
How do I know your history?
Are you a...
How do I know his history?
Been incarcerated before any of that? You don't.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let me see your ID, I'll show you my ID.
I don't have a problem showing you my ID. You see my ID?
So,
it's your turn.
okay, all right. So,
hey, it's your turn.
the last name, last letter of my first name is T.
Like I just showed you mine. You asked?
I asked for your driver's license.
I comply with your request.
I did say and then I said.
So,
and then I
showed you my ID.
You agreed.
And you agreed to that. So that tells me that if you're not going to be a man of your word, then we don't need to continue to talk. You know who I am.
Okay, I'm going to put this down here, okay?
I don't know who you are, Adam from me.
So are you paranoid?
No contact, Shelby County.
According to the Texas Penal Code 46.03, there are stringent restrictions on carrying firearms in certain locations. For instance, firearms are strictly forbidden in government court premises or offices used by the court, as well as in correctional facilities. This includes places like the Houston County Justice Center, which serves dual roles as a courtroom and a correctional facility. In the context of Texas law, Mr. McCain emphasized that Code 46.03 refers to Texas Penal Code 46.034. The definition of premises, which explicitly confines it to a building or a portion thereof. It explicitly excludes any public or private driveway, street, sidewalk, walkway, parking lot, parking garage, or other parking area from this definition. In reporting on the situation, it's important to clarify the legal nuances involved. The Justice Center has the authority to prohibit firearms within its premises, including the building itself. However, under Texas law, individuals are permitted to carry firearms in public parking areas adjacent to buildings. This means that Mr. McCain's action of carrying a firearm in the Justice Center's parking lot is legally permissible. While Mr. McCain disagrees with Sergeant Simpson, he obediently obeys when the sergeant tells him that he will disarm him for their mutual safety. If the officers had satisfied the criterion of reasonable suspicion that was covered earlier in this episode, the sergeant's decision to disarm Mr. McCain would have been lawful. In the Terry case, the court addressed the issue of when police officers can conduct a stop and frisk on individuals suspected of being armed and dangerous. The ruling emphasizes that officers, when facing circumstances where they reasonably believe someone is armed and poses a threat to themselves or others, should have the authority to investigate further. This authority is crucial for ensuring public safety and preventing potential harm. In legal terms, the legitimacy of actions such as detainment and disarming hinges on whether law enforcement reasonably perceives a threat. If a court determines that threats to officers were ongoing, actions taken by Sergeant Simpson could be deemed lawful under statutes governing public safety and officer protection. Upon verifying Mr. McCain's handgun license, a critical step in such scenarios, compliance with legal carrying requirements was confirmed, resolving potential legal concerns. They generally handled the encounter with Mr. McCain well, albeit with a misunderstanding of the authority under Code 46.03. The deputies conducted a calm and legitimate investigation, ultimately releasing Mr. McCain without arrest or citation. The exchange of information appeared lawful, respecting Mr. McCain's rights, with the acquisition of reasonable suspicion being pivotal.
You really do. You asked to be spoken to.
Sir, could you take your hand off your weapon, please?
You really do.
It's threatening to me.
I think that's just your hallucination or your opinion.
So you got my name. He's running my information.
So you hang tight just a minute, Mr. McCain, okay? But now I will tell you this: for our safety and your safety, I'm gonna remove your weapon from you.
No, there's absolutely no reason for you to remove my weapon.
Now, like I just told you, for my safety and your safety, I am going to remove your weapon from you.
Oh, we've been talking. We've been speaking.
And I'm just facing a conflict. I'm gonna remove your weapon safely, and I'm gonna actually place it over here until we find out anything different. Okay?
Thank you.
So why don't you answer our questions then?
Because
I feel safe, not safe, if you're not answering that question.
Because I've done nothing wrong.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry? What was that?
I don't have to answer your questions.
No, you don't.
That's what you're saying.
But you're a public servant.
Yes, sir, and we're detaining you. So yes, sir.
All right, so if I'm clear, why is he still holding on to my weapon there?
He's actually talking to the sheriff, and the sheriff told us to give him the gun, and everything came back clear. So
Mr. McCain?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna place your weapon back in your holster. Thank you for your cooperation, sir. You have a good day.
Well, you have a good one too.
Thank you, sir.
That's okay, thank you.
All right. Sir?
May I have your name and badge number, please?
Sergeant Simpson. Badge number 5125.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you.
my name's Deputy English, badge number 5136.
And you, sir.
Deputy Rocky Ho, 5145.
Thank you.
Mr. McCain's respectful and composed demeanor deserves recognition. He actively engaged in a peaceful and constructive dialogue with the deputies, effectively balancing his compliance with the assertion of his constitutional rights. It's important to note that Mr. McCain was unaware of any alleged threats to the department prior to initiating his audit. According to U.S. criminal law, none of Mr. McCain's actions constituted illegality. After conversing with Mr. McCain, it became evident that he possesses a deep understanding of his rights and the appropriate methods to exercise them without escalating tensions. Let's spread the message of fairness and transparency together by liking and sharing this video with everyone around you. Leave your comments below to share your opinions and ideas on this issue. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on the latest content from the Cops America channel. Each together, let's create a fairer society. See you in the next videos. Thank you and goodbye.